this strategy is just phenomenal, as in all you have to do is just clear the maps, and if you get an altar, you just click the altar. And I've dropped so many T17 maps, that is actually crazy. I think 70 out of 100, and that is just so much T17. I don't think I've ever had that many T70 drops out of 100 maps at all. So yeah, let's get right into the strat. Okay, the objectives for the strategy. So the first thing I want to talk about is how we're going to actually do the strategy, which only requires us really just clearing the map and killing the boss. There isn't anything else to it. And yeah, let's talk about the 3 segments. And the first thing is mob loot. So since we're clearing the whole map, we're going to be getting a ton of T17s dropping. I think I got around 70 T17s out of 100 maps, which is really insane. And I also dropped a few divs and a few exalts and chaos orbs as well. The second thing for our loot is like altars. So we're going to be dropping a ton of chaos orbs from our altars themselves, and also grand ichors, and also getting some of the dupe altars as well. So I do also take the quant and rarity altars. Those are just fine, just to get some extra loot here and there. And the last thing is scarabs. Since, you know, scarabs are just really OP this league to sell, I have incorporated that into the strat, so we get a bunch of scarabs here and there. And I think I actually got some awakenings and some bloodlines and even containments. So there's that. Okay, build requirements, things your build needs for the strategy. So the first thing I want to talk about is your build needs to have really good clear, and I'm talking about clear that will be able to kill monsters that have like added life or life as energy shield. Since we are running T16.5s, the chance of you getting those mods will be quite high, so you got to make sure that your build has really good clear. The second requirement is speed. Your build needs to be decently fast, and I'm not talking about uber fast or crazy. There will be shrines in the map to help you with speed and stuff, so that's there. Just need to be decently fast. And the last thing is your build needs to be able to run T16.5 mods. Obviously you can re-roll like over the mods and stuff, but the more you roll, the more money you're going to be wasting on rolling those. So if your build can like handle like more mods in general than less mods, then it's always a positive. Okay, important tips. Ritual. So we have ritual in our maps, and we are not clicking the rituals. They are only there to add extra monsters into our maps. And a good tip I want to talk about is take a look at the ritual names, and if it says nameless, then that's the only time we should do it, because a nameless ritual has a chance to have the audience of a king. And these are only like 30C at the moment, but they are still something to do just to grab for extra money. Okay, let's talk about investments. So we have 3 scarabs of the multitude. So what it says, it says area contains 8 to 12 additional packs of difficult and rewarding monsters, which drop 300% increased maps. So it's just a way to get even more maps. We are pairing that with escalation, which says 10% increased maps found in area for each map modifier affecting area. So just like the more modifiers we have on our maps, the more, you know, increased chance of maps we'll get. And lastly, we have Scarab of Monstrous Lineage. So it just basically 40% increased magic pack size. We are also using an originator map. So I want to talk to you guys quickly about this. Is originator maps are, depending on which layout you have, can be either expensive, like 10 chaos each, or like 2 chaos each. Castle Ruins is a nice one that I've been farming, and it was about 2C up to 4C, so it was quite cheap to get. And I'll talk more about this later on. And for our last bit of investment is the map device craft, which we are using domination. Okay, map information. So the first thing I want to talk about is favorite maps. So I'm running Castle Ruins, and you might be wondering like, why is Jungle Valley here? So since we have so much increased chance to drop maps, so we are looking for T17s, we will also be dropping originator maps. And the favorite maps here is for our originator maps to drop as the favorite map, so Jungle Valley. And Jungle Valley originator maps are going for 12C, so I highly recommend that you guys put really expensive originator maps here so that you can drop them more often and get more money from that. The second thing I want to talk about is our map layout. So we are running originator maps, of course, and things like Jungle Valley and Dunes are going to be really expensive and adds a lot more investment to our maps. So rather than picking them, we can pick cheaper maps with good layouts as well. For example, for me, I'm running Castle Ruins. For you guys, I highly recommend this, and the thing you want to look at the most when picking another layout is the type of T17 map it drops. So I recommend using this favorite map panel to pick a map, because as you can see it says tier 17 map drops are Citadel maps, meaning that Coves will drop Citadel. And what you guys want to do is pick the most expensive T17 map, which is Ziggurats. So what I can do is comb through here and try finding a Ziggurat. For for example, Volcano. Now, I want to check if a Volcano is a cheap map. For example, if people are selling it for 2C, then run the map and see how the layout is. And that's what I've been doing. I've been running Castle Ruin, sorry, which is right here, and it drops fortress maps, and this is just for testing purposes. So normally I would have picked something with Ziggurat, and that's pretty much how we do the map stuff here. And let's move on to the next thing I want to talk about, which is the regex. Okay, we have the regex here, and mine is quite small because my build can run pretty much a lot of things. And really the most important thing we are doing here is, you see this node right here, more maps of at least 100%. So this is actually the quality of the map, so meaning 100% more maps quality, and we need at least 100% for this strat to work. So I recommend that you guys add this to your filter. Now I want to talk to you guys about rolling. This is a quick tip, and here we have. So you may be wondering, why is there an Alk, Scarab, and a Chaos Orb? So the thing is, we always want to chisel it. I'm using this as demonstration purposes. So basically, add the regex in, especially make sure it's 100% more map quality. And what we basically want to do is, there are two different ways of rolling it. One is cheaper, one is, I guess, hassle free. So the first one is, obviously you can scour Alk, and now with the update you can actually hold Alt and then scour the maps this way. And then I let go of Alt, but I'm still holding Shift, and then I can do this. So make sure you're holding Shift while doing this, and then you can actually roll your maps like that. And the other way is obviously Chaos rolling, and it doesn't matter which way. If you have more money, probably Chaos. If you want a little bit cheaper side, then this way as well works. And the last thing is just really making sure that your map has all the mods that you can run. For example, I can run all these mods, it's fine. And making sure more maps says 100% or more. Minimum 100% is needed, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And since we are using escalation, the more map mods we have, the more increased maps found in area. Now let's talk about the Alice tree. So this Alice tree will be down in the description below, so I won't talk about too much, but let's go over a few things. Is we are taking a lot of Scarab percent chances here, and I think some here. Scarabs are just very expensive this league, so it's just like adding extra money onto our strat basically for free. We are also taking some map nodes, for example here and here, some here and here. What this does is just basically up the tiers to make them like a higher chance of getting tier 16 maps and stuff. And this can be really helpful for originator maps more specifically. And influence types, so I've taken red influence types because Chaos Orbs are really common. Like I basically see them mostly every map, so it's really nice to get that. And also you have loads of Scarab dupes often, map dupes are often, even quant and rarity wheels also. So for this strategy, it just felt really nice. Obviously, increased effect of explicit modifiers on your maps. Since we are pairing this with originator maps, we are getting a bunch of explicit modifiers, so that's really good as well. So overall, this tree is pretty simple. It's nothing special. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And obviously, shrine stuff as well is always nice as well. Let's talk about the profits. Voila. So the first thing I want to talk about is the currency. 4 divs is pretty nice. Obviously I've added that into the strat because you will get a bunch of Chaos Orbs, Exalt Orbs and divs. Loads of Grand Ickers, about 60 Grand Ickers, and a bunch of other stuff as well, like chisels and gem cutters. Scarabs, we dropped 6 Horn Scarab of Nemesis, 1 Bloodlines, and 2 Awakenings, Blooming, Containments, and I think there was another one. Oh, Harvest as well. So yeah, a lot of Scarabs. Always love to see that, with incandescent invitations and a bunch of originator maps. Like that's a lot. And look how many jungle valleys we got. So that's really important to make sure your favorite maps are something pricey. Now you may be wondering, why is this like a different variety of T17s? We have Ziggurats, Citadels, Fortress, Abominations, and Sanctuaries. These 100 map showcase, I was basically experimenting and testing if the T17s dropped from any map, like this strat worked with any map, and it does, it really does. So that's why I decided to home in Fortress for the last few maps, because why not? I would focus on Ziggurats because Ziggurats are 65C each, while Fortresses are 45, so you'd make a lot of money by focusing on maps that drop T17 Ziggurats. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I believe this is like around 70 T17s. So from 100 maps, it drops 70 T17 maps, which is crazy. And some Deli Orbs as well. Yep, those there. And I guess 1 Hive Brain Gland. That's pretty much it. And let's go to the spreadsheet. Okay, let's talk about the spreadsheet. And so the strat is T17 map farming. Since we are farming T17 maps, it's quite self-explanatory. We ran 100 maps. We invested 2,000 chaos orb. We profited 4,206, and we made in total 6,166. So that's about 40C map profit. And let's go into what we made. So T17s, I priced at 45. So if you ran a ziggurats, you'll make a bunch more. But since we didn't, we got 73 T17s. We got 73, and we made back our investment and more from just the T17s alone. About 200 chaos orbs, 2 exalts, and 4 divs. So also these are the originator T16.5 maps, and we got 34, which is about 400 chaos orbs. I did sell some T16 maps for 1C each, and I sold about 120. You get so many maps, I obviously ran out of space. I just ended up putting them all in my guild. So yeah, you'll make a lot of maps from this. And Grand Ickers, 3C a pop, and we've got 60. 3 incandescent invitations, and a bunch of Eldritch currency, which is like the Chaos Orb, Eldritch Chaos Orbs, Eldritch, you know, that stuff. Other T16.5s, I priced them at 4C each, and we got 48. Obviously, this 4C includes things like the city squares and dunes, which are actually more expensive, but for simplicity, I just added 4. Scarabs, since this is very RNG based, even though this strat is dropping a lot of scarabs, I did a conservative 725C scarab choice. For my map times, this strat is just running and killing everything. So the faster you are, the more you'll make. And I ran them about under 3 minutes each, which came about 7 divs an hour, which is actually really good. Gold is a bit on the low side though, but let's move to Wealthy Exile. Okay, let's talk about Wealthy Exile for a minute. And really the only thing I really want to talk about is the scarabs. So obviously you can see here 23 divs in T17 maps and 14 divines in scarabs. As I said, I put it on the low side since it's more RNG based, but let's have a look. So looking at the scarabs, we got 2 awakenings, which are 1.4 divs each, 41 divination scarab of the cloister, 1 containment, and 11 discernments, and a bunch more. So yeah, with this strategy, you'll make a lot more from scarabs, and obviously the div per hour will probably be a lot more. But since this is also RNG based, I didn't want to go haywire when it comes to scarabs, but I just wanted to show you guys what I personally made from the scarabs with my 100 map showcase. Okay, for selling, so literally all we had to do is manage our shop, go to maps. Obviously I had all my maps was filled yesterday, they were all gone, they were all sold. But yeah, put fortress in, and if it's 45C, you could put it for 44 if you want it to be sold like instantly, or you could put it for 45 and just do that for pretty much each map. So all I have to do now is literally click it in or control click it in, but what I could do is click enter and click enter, just as quick as that. And that's pretty much for selling. Everything else can be like scarabs can be sold through the currency exchange if I wanted to. Where's scarabs? I went past it. If I wanted to sell it, I can just sell it like this. Obviously that's how you sell it. And that's pretty much it, guys. And this strategy was really fun. Like all I did was just walk in, kill everything, come back out with like 3 T17 sometimes, 2 mostly, and a lot of 1s. And the fact that I get 70 T17s out of 100 maps is ridiculous. And I don't think it's ever been that high ever. But yeah, that was pretty much the strategy, guys. And I'll see if I'm still playing this or if POE 2 comes out. But yeah, have a good time with the strat, and yeah, talk to you soon. God bless.